The FAA recently updated their emergency airworthiness directive to include not just MD-11s, but MD-10s and DC-10s. Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is the history of the MD-11. The UPS plane that recently crashed in Louisville, Kentucky was an MD-11, and to understand the history of the MD-11, you first have to understand the DC-10. The DC-10 is the predecessor of the MD-11. There were over 400 DC-10s produced, and the first passenger flight on a DC-10 was operated by American Airlines in 1971. The last DC-10 that was produced by McDonnell Douglas was produced in December of 1988, and the last time it was flown as a passenger plane was in December of 2013. What I would like to cover in this video are the incidents and accidents involving the DC-10 that led to modifications and a new release of the MD-11, which was the successor of the DC-10. This is an example of the DC-10, which does look quite similar to the MD-11 because it's the predecessor of it. It does have 3 engines, and one is a tail-mounted engine. I'm going to cover these by most severe to least severe accident and/or incident, and this was the deadliest. This is the deadliest of the DC-10 accidents. So this is Turkish Airlines Flight 981 on March 3rd, 1974. This plane was going from Istanbul to London Heathrow. This was the result of a cargo door that tore off and caused an explosive decompression and a lot of severed cables. 346 people died in this accident. The second is American Airlines Flight 191. This was May 25th, 1979, and this flight was traveling from Chicago to LAX. 271 passengers and 2 people on the ground were killed in this accident. When people have recently been talking about similar incidents in the past with the DC-10 that sound eerily close to what happened with the UPS flight recently in Louisville, this is the flight that they're talking about. The left engine pylon on this flight separated from the wing as a result of a crack, and that crack was the result of a procedure that American Airlines was using when they removed the engine and the pylon during maintenance. The manufacturer had originally stated to remove the engine and the pylon, they needed to be removed separately. American, in an effort to decrease the amount of time and money spent on, doing this maintenance process, decided to remove the two together using a forklift, and that created a stress fracture which got bigger with each takeoff. Air New Zealand Flight 901 crashed as a result of a navigational error. This happened on November 28th, 1979, and 257 people died as a result of this. Next, we have UTA Flight 772. This accident was the result of a bomb. In 1989, this flight was traveling from Brazzaville in the Republic of Congo to Paris, and 170 people died. United 232 in 1989 crashed in Sioux City, Iowa as a result of the tail-mounted engine having a failure and loss of hydraulics. 184 of 296 people on that plane survived. Korean Flight 803 is a flight from 1989 from Seoul to Tripoli. This accident was the result of low visibility and pilot error, and 75 of 199 people on board died in this crash. Western Airlines Flight 2605 in 1979 was also pilot error, and that was because they attempted to land on a closed runway. 72 of 88 people on board died and 1 person on the ground. Martinair Flight 495 in 1992 was a flight from Amsterdam to Portugal. Wind shear and microburst were the cause of this accident that killed 56 people. In 1982, Spantex Flight 995 crashed as a result of a landing gear issue and pilot error. 50 people were killed and 110 were hospitalized. I couldn't find a proper article for Cubana Flight 1216 from 1999. This was a result of weather and runway overrun. 8 passengers, 8 crew, and 2 people on the ground were killed. National Airlines Flight 27 in November of 1973 crashed as a result of an uncontained engine failure and 1 person died. This video was long, but it does give a comprehensive overview of incidents and accidents that happened involving the DC-10. There were 3 other incidents that I did not put on that list just to save time, like American Airlines Flight 96, that was a rapid decompression. Everyone on board survived. And Iberia 933, that was the result of pilot error, and there were injuries reported. This was part 1 that gives you an introduction to the incidents and accidents involving the DC-10. I will follow this up with one that covers the incidents and accidents involving MD-11s, which was the same plane that UPS was flying that crashed in Louisville, Kentucky. If I missed anything involving the DC-10, please let me know in the comments. Follow my page to stay up to date on aviation safety alerts, travel tips, and general aviation and airline updates and information.